Tree Commission, September 19th. John Parker, our president, I'll turn it over to you, chairman.
Okay, call the Tree Commission meeting to order. Do we need to do a roll call?
I can introduce, we've got Bree Holman, Morgan Drabick, Hampshire, James Arthur, and John Parker. Kippy Laughlin is absent today. And then Nate Leimeister, Forestry Foreman, Scott Cromer, Forestry Superintendent, and I'm Elizabeth.
All right, are there any corrections? Has everybody read the minutes? Are there any corrections to the minutes? If there are no corrections, the minutes stand approved. Okay, we approve. Any old business, tree stats?
I got a quick little report that I'm going to do. Forestry report, July 18th through September 19th. We had 50 trees that were removed. Majority of those were due to storm damage. There were some others in conjunction with city projects, some sidewalk projects that we had done. The big thing that we did during this time period, there was storms on August 12th, the 24th, and 25th, which gave us numerous limbs down, numerous dangerous trees. We had like 76 maintenance tables that were storm related. A bunch of others that didn't, so we probably had, I don't know, anywhere from 150 to 200 calls about trees during those three storms. Next, stump removals. We haven't done any stump removals in this period, but we just oopsed a bunch, and that's where our focus is going to kind of be going forward. We've got a bunch. We've got over 100 stumps that we got to get removed. Trees trimmed, there's 33 limb ups that we did for stop signs and right-of-way clearances, 3 complete trims. Inspections, we had 25 inspections. There's numerous on my list to do, mostly storm-related inspections that we still got to get caught up on. And lastly, the fall planting list is being scheduled. We're looking to plant 50 plus trees this fall. We have some locations picked out. We just got to confirm the tree availability. And I just want to emphasize the August storms were a big setback to us with the progress that we had been making. It kind of changed a lot of the timelines to our work schedule. Mother Nature just kind of butted in line. So I just want to lastly give a big thanks to all the other city departments that helped us out with the storm work. And that's all I got.
The storm trees that you guys had problems with, I mean, were a lot of them like the hollowed out rotten ones, or was it just anything? So
it was a mix. There was a lot of trees that were already on GIS that were kind of potential removals that got to be removed because the storm put them as hazardous. We had a lot of broken branches. Different areas got hit pretty hard where there was kind of higher wind events, more concentrated. Like 42nd, 44th Street area got hit pretty good. Yeah, but mostly a lot of the already trees that were in decline kind of got beat up pretty bad in it.
That's what I remembered from the inventory, that there was a high potential of storm risk trees because of trunk related issues and tree size and stuff, so.
Yeah.
You don't
we had a
wanna
little bit of mix because there was we had a handful of uprooted trees too. So a lot of the rain we had
yeah.
inches, not, tenths, but that kind of contributed to the uprooting. Some of those also include like Oakland Cemetery had a lot of damage done, had some uprooted trees. So there was a handful of those throughout the city that.
I think it's one of those things where, like when you have I don't know, you hear it from both sides. First off, you hate to see trees go down in storms or branches and stuff like that. But then I know when we did that tree inventory, just seeing the sheer number of storm risk trees, and some cities kind of start taking that approach of putting them on the removal list, but then that upsets people because they look okay from the outside. But
Right.
it's always a good strategy to still work towards those as well, as you guys know. I mean, either you get to take them down or you get to clean them up.
Right,
You know?
right.
Bro, you guys all set? The spotted lanternfly, did any, was that,
So I have a little news on the spotted lanternfly. The Ohio Department of Agriculture has set some traps, and they have found it in Sandusky. I don't know what his name is, that works out of Erie County now. I think Tom.
Tom.
Yeah. So Tom took Amy Wyatt, who works in the greenhouse, took her out and showed her one of the traps, whatever. And I've got it's dead now, but this is the spotted lanternfly, if you want to take a look at it.
Found in Erie County.
Right behind Toffs.
Yeah, basically, they found it all along the tracks, is what's.
Yeah, that's what I read in the paper.
And, yeah, and it's my understanding they did do a treatment, and they found a fairly effective kill, but you kind of don't know until you wait till it starts to rebound, so.
Yeah, Amy did say that there was a
Size bug.
bunch that were there that were dead, but then they also had traps that it didn't kill them
Right, there
all.
were still,
There's
yeah,
still live
yeah.
ones, so.
What is this treatment, the trap itself?
The trap is a live trap. I didn't get to see it, so I can't explain it very well.
I've
but-
seen it. It honestly looks kind of like it's like a shroud that hangs down, and then there's a bag, and there's like a little opening, almost like a cut-off pop bottle top. And then when they climb up the tree, they climb up in it and they get stuck. And then they get stuck in the bag, and they're still alive in the bag. But
Yeah, it was alive when she first brought it to me. I didn't want to like smash it and dispose of it. I wanted to be able to show you guys, it is here and it's invasive and it's supposed to cause a lot of damage, so.
so is it a bark damage or leaf, or do they
I do
drill?
From what I understand, it gets into the sap, and
yeah,
it doesn't discriminate. It'll attack just about anything.
Yeah.
so its host tree is tree of heaven, which is another invasive tree.
Right.
But it also likes wild grape. It also likes Virginia wild creeper. And most of those types of trees are usually found, the reason why it's kind of found along the railroad right now, because it's those disturbed, areas. So it will attack other things. There's a big concern with orchards and vineyards right now of it. But what it does, it doesn't kill the tree, but it stresses the tree out by constant removal of sap. And then every time that the tree gets injured, that's more areas for pathogens, and then other diseases, other insects and things like that. What was actually, when I went out and looked at it, the amount of ants around, because there was so much sap, and then it was kind of neat.
Huh.
Sad, they were everywhere, but.
Yeah.
They cause a lot of waste too, their excrements. So if they're in like an ornamental tree in, say, a populated area, they'll just congregate there, and that's like their social roosting area. But then their waste creates just a stickiness underneath the tree. So if you walk under it, your shoes are going to be sticky. And then plus there's thousands of these on the trees.
Good to know. I didn't know any of that, so.
Yeah.
Thanks.
One cool thing is if you do find one, if you tap on their back, they'll spread their wings out because they get agitated and they're red underneath. Most invasives are pretty. It's such a bummer, but it's not, shouldn't be here, and it's causing problems, so.
There was one found at Kroger parking lot too, just smashed. There are some there are some biocontrols for it. One is it's another invasive, the Chinese mantis. So they can eat these. And there are some bird species and some mammal species native that can consume that can consume them, but they're not going to be able to keep up.
Okay.
I'll just add one other thing. I mean, so trying to get rid of Tree of Heaven is probably one of the best first courses of action that literally anyone can do.
Yeah, but they're ubiquitous too, aren't they?
Yeah, they're another invasive that's in this area. So, I lived in Dayton for a while. There is far more Tree of Heaven down there than there are up here. But you tend to find them around industrial areas, abandoned lots and things like that. And they tend to grow in clusters. So if somebody tries to remove one, you're kind of replaced by 5 or 6 new ones. So it's not just a cutting, but it's a cutting and a treatment usually to kill it. But trying to eliminate some of their host trees helps to do the spread. But like you said before, they also are not as picky.
Any other old business? Okay, new business. We did talk a little bit about the storm cleanup. Is there anything else to add?
No, we've had multiple departments going out and shipping brush. We've gotten, to be clear, and I'm sure you guys know, we've been concentrating on boulevard and parks and city-owned trees. We just don't have the staff nor the time or equipment to do the removals and the trimming and the line of sight and the planting and stump grindings along with chipping everybody's personal brush. So, when we get calls, we've been telling people, private brush, you can either take it to Barnes or dispose of it in any other way, but we just don't have the capacity to do it. So I know we've gotten a lot of pushback on that with residents, but we taking on that is just gonna put us further and further behind, so.
So the piles of brush that we see in the tree lawns right now, are you guys coming back for that, or is it, it's up to the, you don't know if it came from the front yard,
So we've gotten a lot of calls, we go out, obviously, Nate's a certified arborist, but a lot of the people that are in forestry have, been in the tree industry, so they know what trees look like, leaves,
Right.
bark, whether it's broken out or cut off, so, a lot of the brush we've already determined that is not ours.
Right.
As of today, I would say there's probably 5 or 6 piles, or not piles, but limbs or small piles that we still have to clean up. But after that, we will be completely finished with
Okay.
the city-owned, private, or city-owned and park trees.
Okay.
So everything else, that is on the boulevards is up to the residents.
Right.
I know we do have the yard waste pickup option. I don't know the extent of that. I don't know all the parameters
Or if they
as
would
far
take
as.
that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I don't know how much it would take,
Yeah.
how it needs to be piled or bundled or put in wherever. I'm not sure of all the regulations on that, but that, I think some of that has been picked up in small cases, but some of the larger ones, there's a couple that people take advantage. They have a tree in the backyard, a big limb comes out,
Right.
and we'd be there all year long with
Yeah.
what we have, so. It's a tough decision, but I think in order to continue on our progress in the boulevards and planting and stump removals, that, it's the right thing to do right
Yeah.
now, so.
I guess in the old days, we would have had a bonfire in the backyard and
Yeah,
it'd be.
yeah, you can't
it'd be
do that
gone.
unfortunately now, yeah. But they make a lot of home
And there was a lot of.
home shredders now, little.
Yeah, well,
that you
there
can
was a
put
lot
in.
of information, and a lot of it was wrong, that was running around on, but it wasn't coming from the city. I
Right.
thought the city did a great job giving
Right.
the storm damage updates, talking about what they were gonna take, what they weren't gonna take,
Yep.
but then there was a bunch of other information coming out from just individual residents about what they thought should happen, or what they wished would happen, and.
Right,
So, but, no, I thought, as far as the information that came out of the city, you knew stuff was gonna show up on the lawn no matter what, but.
right.
Yeah.
People should have realized at some point, this is what services we currently have and what the current load was.
Right.
It was insane.
It was bad.
Yep.
And like Nate said, we have 3 chippers. We just recently purchased a new one. We had all them out, and now there was one that was maybe down from time to time. with maintenance needs, but we had them all out. We had 3 crews out chipping every day, so we, but we're still in cleanup mode as far as hazardous trees and really some of the areas, we still have another one over off Superior that was on our property that fell that we still need to clean up here this week, so.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Did everybody get a chance to check out the tree on Columbus Ave?
I did.
I did.
How did that tree get there?
All of a sudden, it sticks out.
Yeah, good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I must have gone past that tree so many
I
times.
know,
And I
we
don't
just-
know why. I've never been like, why is that tree there?
Yeah.
At least it's a big boulevard.
Yes, yeah.
Does any,
I have
Buddy.
no objections. It's not the right tree for the boulevard, and so if it can be used as a holiday tree, that's a good use to get the wrong tree out of the boulevard.
What she said,
okay,
I'm on board with that.
Okay,
okay.
we wanted to bring it to you guys'
It's a
attention.
nice looking tree, it's well shaped.
Right,
It got off to a good start,
But the resident wants it.
but it's in the wrong
right?
place.
yeah,
Okay, so,
yeah,
The resident volunteered it.
Yeah,
okay.
yep.
and it does block when you're coming out of Cable, I think, looking left, it does disrupt your view down the street, so. as far
It's
as-
definitely not a tree that we would plant nowadays,
No.
put it that way,
No.
so.
Will it be
And it is
scheduled to
healthy,
be
so-
replanted?
What was that?
Will it be then replant, not that tree, but another tree will? be done?
Yeah, we're trying to, on our planting list, is take requests, so if she would request it to be replaced, yeah.
Are we only planting if it's requested or
No, we're planting in areas that are like, have
deficient in
yeah,
canopy?
so we'll do
Okay.
that, but we try to incorporate requests into that.
Yeah, okay.
So we're meeting the needs of the ones that actually want it, because if they want it, they're gonna take
And
care
take
of
care of
it.
it.
So we try to, get those involved as far as spring or fall planting and get those planted, and then we add our little areas that we need, so.
Okay,
What were the criticisms of the tree last year? There were some negative comments, I remember.
Of the Christmas tree?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it
The
was the
lights on the
lighting.
top didn't work, right?
The lights were
Or they were different
mismatched.
color?
Okay, but there's nothing about the tree itself.
Not that I know of, not that I know of.
Then this is a great tree, I think.
yeah, it's a beautiful tree. It does-
You gotta give somebody something to talk about, though.
Yeah, yeah.
you don't, yeah, if everybody's happy. We don't need to vote on that, right?
No, we're
good.
just looking for you guys' recommendation, because it
Okay.
is a live, healthy tree.
Yeah.
And we realize it's not the right species for the location, but, in staying true to our mission, we didn't want to remove a healthy tree in a boulevard without your guys' recommendation,
Okay.
so.
Was it a white pine or spruce?
Yeah.
Norway spruce?
It's not a white
It's
pine.
a fir tree.
Yeah,
It's not I don't think it's a white pine, I think it's a spruce. I
yeah,
think.
no, I thought it was a spruce, like a
Yeah.
Norway spruce or a. I don't know, white pines are the longer needles, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's more
fine.
soft,
Yeah,
yeah,
those ones.
that's how I did, but it's not a white, I
And
know
they're
it's not
droopy.
white.
I feel like Norways are droopy.
It looks like a Norway, yeah.
No, I know it's not a white pine.
Any other new business? Yes, Jim?
A concerned citizen, taxpaying citizen in Sandusky, brought to my attention the mulching job on West Perry Street. It's on city property on the boulevard, and it's starting to get a volcano mulch look to it.
Right in front of Job and Family Services?
That's it.
Yep, I drive by it every morning. I've been watching those mountains get taller and taller. I wasn't the citizen you called. But.
And this
yeah,
person
actually,
also
one-
mentioned that those trees could use some
Well, one
pruning.
boulevard, those aren't very old, and one boulevard tree's already dead. And I'm sure it's dead because of the mulching issue. I'm guessing, they have to be hiring their own landscaper?
Yes.
It had to have been farmed out
Yeah.
to somebody selling mulch. So can we send a message to Family Services or whatever and tell them tisk, tisk, tisk? city trees, city property. They were out of line for farming out their mulching job.
I think, I mean, I would say it's similar to the library and
Exactly what I
our
was thinking.
demonstration, and maybe we can send them the pamphlet of our demonstration, and, I mean, we definitely want buy-in from the residents or business owners, because we can't obviously be able to mulch all of them, and it's better if they are mulched and taken care of, but if we can give them direction of how to do it correctly and not hinder the tree growth.
So it's a teaching moment.
Yeah, and I don't think we want to wait until Arbor Day to teach that one, but yeah, maybe we can reach out here soon on
It's
this
just a
one.
matter of
Yeah.
removing a couple of buckets worth and spreading it out.
Right, yep,
It won't cost them a dime.
We can do that.
And it could even just be like, we've noticed we have to come and remove a young tree, and this is why.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the one tree, I think it's like all the way to the east. I think it's like the first one, it's like I think there's 5, and the very first one is dead. And you definitely can tell it's because the bottom trunk is all gnarled up and stuff, so it's definitely a mulching.
yeah, we can reach out to them.
Sounds good. Any other new business? All right, any announcements? Any last comments?
Well, I would just say that the next meeting in November is at the Service Center. It's not a public meeting, but it's a tree commission gathering, so that you can see forestry's equipment, their workspace, and Nate may go over some of his ideas for his master forestry plan. So something a little different.
So next meeting is at the Service Center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have Tree City applications going out soon?
That's not due until, I usually wait till like right before, yeah. Not by choice, just,
Well, I don't think it's.
I have to
it's
get
not
it
till
done, but-
November, right?
Huh?
It's not till November, but
I
I
was
feel like
gonna
it's
say
before
it's
our
the
next
end of
public meeting.
November. Yeah, it's probably right around there, I
Okay.
wanna say. Yeah, I wanna say December, like first maybe even, you
Something
have
like
till.
that. I
Yeah.
remember it's at the end of the year.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering with
But
the
yeah.
demonstration that they did and the extra cleanup.
Yeah.
And the new bucket truck, I wonder if that's enough points for a growth award.
possibly,
And the tree planting you guys have been doing.
Right.
You know?
right. Yeah, I'll have to review the different category, there's like a bunch of different
Yeah,
categories
there's
to
a
see
bunch
if
of
we
different
can
ones.
qualify.
It's not that hard to rack up some
Right,
points in some of those.
right.
So,
Oh, one other thing about the spotted lanternfly that I remembered. So that's the adult stage, but going into this winter and then next spring, if they're still here, they'll have the instar, the juvenile stage, and they're tiny. And they'll be black with white spots. But yeah, just so you don't think that that's, they're much smaller when they're younger.
We need a good hard winter to eliminate,
help them and the mosquitoes.
yeah.
Bill Farmer's Almanac says we're gonna have it.
We're gonna have a tough one. Okay, we'll count on the farmers, so.
Mosquitoes are real bad.
Anything else?
I think we're good. On our end.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
A second?
Meeting